why only one nation is involved in these sports? Why is it only one certified bloodline that's involved in these sports? The descendants of slaves. You see, they was brought over here as a nation. They all have something in common. They came over here on slave ships. They are being social engineered into the ghettos and the projects and the hoods of America and of the islands and in South America. Why is it only one nation that's involved in these sports or excel in these sports? Because a lot of other nations get involved due to politics, and they got to be at least 8 feet tall. When they ain't even got to jump to put the ball in the bucket. But this nation, all they got to do is be small as Bugsy Webs. Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webbs. 5'9", they dunking 360 dunks. Jumping over people dunking. You see, and if anybody get in this sport and compete, and they not from these projects, they are one of the scattered children of Israel. Because when you go to the description of the children of Israel in the Bible and their history, ain't nothing changed. In Genesis 25:23, it say the children of Israel will be stronger than all other nations. They would be stronger. Then, when you go to, Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, it say that God had chose the Israelites to be a special people unto himself, above all people. You see? So he chose these individuals to be better than all other nations. And then they asked a question when it came to the children of Israel. It was a question asked about those children. And it's starting at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. It talks about them keeping the laws would show that they have wisdom and understanding in the sight of the other nations. But then it makes a statement. It say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. In verse 7 it say, for what nation is there so great? You see, ain't no nation is greater than this nation. When it comes to the abilities and the things that they do, they create 90% or 100% of the inventions in the world was created by the descendants of slaves right in America, the country who they made to be the greatest country in the world. Is it a coincidence that these descendants of slaves is in the greatest country in the world, which the people who was controlling this place built off of their free labor and off of their inventions? Is it a coincidence that all the sports that's making all these billions of dollars in TV stations and clothing lines are working off the backs of the children of Israel? Is this a coincidence? I don't think this is a coincidence. In verse 8, well, going on in Deuteronomy 4, verse Salakia. going on in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7, it say, who have God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for. So who else has God exalted like this nation? Verse 80 repeats the statement. And what nation is so great? You see, he asking the question. What nation is so great like these children of Israel, these descendants of slaves? What nation is so great? Now, when you go to Samuel chapter 7, 2 Samuel chapter 7, when you go to 2 Samuel chapter 7, and it says, in verse 23, it say, and what one nation in the earth is like my people, even like Israel, whom God went to redeem for a people to himself, to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for the land before the people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt and from the nations of and their gods. 24 said, for there has confirmed to thyself my people Israel to be a people unto me forever, and have become their God, and I have become their God. So he proclaimed that these are going to be his people forever, and he created them for himself. Now, speaking of creation, when you go to Isaiah, he bring it out even better. Isaiah chapter, let's start at chapter 41, verse 8. It say, but you, Israel, are my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. So Abraham was known as the friend of God, and so his children, God showed favor to and created them better than everybody else, made them stronger and more skillful and more intelligent and more wiser than everybody else. Put his spirit inside of them and created the world through them. Now I got a verse for that too. But going to Isaiah 42,